Hello my Wolfpack and welcome to a brand new competitive guide video episode where we are going to talk about Quaquaval. I don't actually know how to say it, I'm just kind of going with what I think it is, but Quaquaval I think is the best way to say it. Now today we have got 5 sets, 4 sets for singles, 1 set with doubles, but bear in mind you can also use the single sets in doubles as well if you just want, for example, like a sweeper mod. Now first of all, we're going to go through some useful moves that we do have here. Now I haven't used all of these in all the sets, but thought it's worth just pointing them out. So agility, doubling your speed, really fantastic. Aquajet, priority move, can be really handy in lots and lots of circumstances, especially with base 85 speed. You're not guaranteed to outspeed other Pokemon. Aqua Step, which increases your speed by 1 stage. We've now got Trailblaze, Aqua Step and Flame Charge, so the 3 main typings of the starters all have access to increase up their speed, which is really fantastic. Baton Pass, you know, if you want to speed, swap out Baton Pass when it comes to your Aqua Step, as well as if you have Moxie Boost, that could work really nicely. Close Combat, boosted by Stab. Ice Spinner, good coverage for things like grass types. You've got Liquidation if you want to go for something that's not Wave Crash, because Wave Crash obviously has recoil. Rapid Spin, again, get rid of hazards, increase your speed up. Roost to heal yourself up. Swords Dance, increase up your attack by stages. Taunt, stop other Pokemon from setting up or also setting up hazards. Terra Blast, because every Pokemon can learn this and it can be really handy if you have a specific Terra type. U-Turn to be able to get out of there in some cases, which is really handy when you have like Choice Scarf Mon. And Wave Crash, which is a really powerful water type attack. Now in terms of doubles, obviously all of those attacking moves you can use, you can take advantage of that. Taunt is a really good move to take advantage of as well. But you've got Encore, which causes the Pokemon to continually use the same move. Now if they're trying to set up, you can then have a couple of turns where actually you are just going to continue with their setting up, so you can actually do some shenanigans there. Protect, really standard staple on doubles. Helping Hand, allowing you to increase your allies' move power a little bit, and Icy Wind allows you to slow down the Pokemon. Now you don't have amazing special attack stat, but it's more about the effect of this rather than the damage output. In terms of Terra types, I have 3 recommendations. You have got the Ground type. Now the Ground type can cover a few different things. The only thing you've got to pay attention for is the Grass type there, because the Grass type is going to be able to cause you a lot of damage, but Earthquake allows you to hit the electric type super effective damage. It allows you to hit neutral on lots of other different mons, and realistically a lot of mons that are going to come in, they're not going to do that much damage to you, so Ground type works fantastically. Poison type as well, that allows you to get rid of your fairy weakness. It allows for you to kind of mess around with things like grass, not taking as much damage from there and hitting them super effectively. It just works really nicely in combination with things like Terra Blast, and also Flying allows you to, again, get rid of a couple of your weaknesses. You do have to pay attention to the fact that obviously electric types are still super effective against you, so you do have to kind of play that game correctly. If you are playing in a draft league, then obviously you can plan for that much better. I would say overall Poison would probably be the best to cover on a defensive front, but when you get to the kind of the offensive aspect, Ground hits really hard. In fact, I would say kind of subjectively that Ground overall is going to be your best Terra type full stop for most mons. Not all mons, but for the vast majority of situations, Ground type, Terra type can be really useful, as well as something like an electric type, which you could run an electric type, Terra type here if you wanted to, but I just noted it down to 3. Now across the bottom, I'll let you read that, that's all your weaknesses. Obviously you're looking really good against things like Dark types and Steel types. Steel types obviously being very common. Fairy types you do take 2 times damage from, so do be very cautious of that. But things like Fire types, which are very common, you're not going to take as much damage to as well. Now when it comes to the sets, so let's talk about Quaquaval and how it works in competitive. So the first set I've got is a Choice Scarf Moxie set. Now you can get Moxie already straight off. You can get an ability patch. Typically you can get them in 6-star raids. I'm not sure what specifically you need to do, but I have myself got a couple from 6-star raids. So you can turn the ability from Torrent into Moxie, which I think Moxie is 1,000 times a better ability. You don't use Torrent in very specific circumstances. Move-wise, we've got Wave Crash. Wave Crash, very powerful water type attack, but you do take recoil, so obviously do be cautious there. If you have a Wishmon, that might be really beneficial for you as well. Close Combat, powerful fire type attack boosted by Stab. Obviously you do lower down your defenses, so do be very cautious of things like priority moves, although two of the most common priority moves in Aqua Jet and Sucker Punch you do resist, so that won't be a bigger issue. You've then got Ice Spinner, which allows you to cover two of your main weaknesses in grass and also flying types, but also can hit other things like dragon types as well. And then U-Turn, this works really well as a first Pokemon to come out, so as a lead, and then you can U-Turn, get out of there, and get some upward momentum, whilst also causing some damage on the opponent's Pokemon. EV-wise, I recommend Max Attack and Max Speed. I personally would go for a Jolly Nature here, so more speed, less special attack, just because the base 85 speed, you have got some Pokemon that are going to Scarf, that are going to be slightly higher speed than that. If they're like base 100, you should, off the top of my head, still outspeed a base 100 Pokemon that is not plus speed invested. I'm not 100% sure on that on top of my head, but I think that is the case. Regardless, you'll outspeed more Pokemon if you have a higher speed, and because Quaquaval is a little bit frail, it's not super frail, probably can take a hit, but it is a little bit frail, meaning that, you know, having that speed means you're going to take less hits, means you're less likely to die. Especially if you're taking Recall from Wave Crash. If you want to replace that with Liquidation, obviously you can do that as well. Moving on to the second Quaquaval set, we have got a Life Orb Swords Dance set. So again, we've got Moxie here. You could run Agility instead of Swords Dance here if you wanted to, especially if you've got a Pokemon that's low and you're coming in just to kind of revenge kill. So you've got either Swords Dance, set that up, go to +2 in your attack, which will double from 339 to 678, I think it is. And you can keep on Swords Dancing if you need to. Typically one Swords Dance is normally enough to be able to start sweeping some different things, but just obviously be cautious in the way that you're doing this. I have put Aqua Step on here, so Aqua Step increases your speed by 1 each time that you use it. Now realistically, 2 Aqua Steps is going to be more than enough to outspeed the vast majority of Pokemon, unless someone is running an Agility Mon or they are running a super fast Pokemon with a Scarf. Now it's not as likely you see super fast Pokemon with Scarves. I'm thinking the Leopard, Chi-Wien or something like that. I don't actually know their names off by heart yet, but the one that's like the Snow Leopard, that's going to be really fast. It's unlikely to be Scarfed. It definitely could still be Scarfed, but it's unlikely to be Scarfed due to the sheer speed that it has. So if you get 1+ in speed, typically you're going to be looking pretty good, but 2+ can be better. Close Combat, again, your powerful fighting type attack, and also Brave Bird allows you to cover a few of your other weaknesses, and also just a general coverage. Just be aware that you are obviously going to be taking Recoil here, along with the Life Orb. Now, you don't have to go Life Orb here. You could go a large variety of different things. You could go for different berries. You could even go for something like a Focus Sash, but then you have to pay attention to things like priority moves, which could cause problems for you. But I think Life Orb personally works the best here. You can run any variety of items on here that can work for you as well. EVs, exactly the same as before, depending on if you're going for Agility or Aqua Step, or how you're working that round. You could definitely run the plus attack nature as well. Again, depends on what you personally are going to be going for. Along with your Moxie ability, just obviously use that to your advantage, because if you can get +1 every Pokemon you're taking out, then realistically, you're going to be looking really, really solid. Next one is a Rapid Spin set. Now this one is a little bit more of a kind of support set. The idea is that we get rid of hazards. Hazards, obviously, huge problem. Stealth Rocks, that's going to cause a lot of damage to your team every time you switch. If someone gets spikes up as well, or toxic spikes, think about Glimora with its toxic debris, then you are going to have some potential issues. So Rapid Spin, being able to get rid of this. Now I've put leftovers on here, but ultimately Heavy Duty Boots would probably be a better item. I just don't run Heavy Duty Boots because of the amount of people that complain about how broken an item it is, and I don't want people moaning about that. You can run Heavy Duty Boots, you can run leftovers, you can run several other different things. I put Torrent as an ability here because why not in this case, but again, Moxie can work really well. You've got Taunt to stop any status moves or any setting up from happening, and realistically that can be really useful in lots and lots of different scenarios. Roost to heal yourself up, because with this set you are definitely going to be taking hits, and also Wave Crash to allow you to get damage off on the opponent. Now obviously if you want to run Liquidation because of the fear of the recoil there, then you can go for that, but that's why I've kind of combined this with Roost, allowing you to kind of heal off as much of that damage as you can. EVs, this one I've gone for max speed, max HP as a more of a supportive Pokemon as opposed to something that is going to be causing lots and lots of damage. Now you could always replace something like Taunt with Baton Pass and go for the Moxie and see if you can get some knockouts, but it's less likely to happen in this scenario, so that's why I haven't done that, essentially. But I would say max HP, just to allow yourself to live as many hits as possible, because realistically, what you're going to have is a couple of problems with the amount of damage you're going to take. So, increasing HP prevents that more. Moving on to the fourth one, I have got an Endure Salad Berry set. Now, this one is really, really interesting. I've also put Swords Dance on here. Honestly, yeah, this is a bit of a quirky set, and I think it could definitely work, because if you get, so you come in, you Swords Dance, you live a hit. That allows for you to be at +2, meaning you have that 680 more or less in your attack. You then have your Endure. That increases your speed up by 1, because you're obviously going to live that attack, and you are going to have the Salad Berry activate. Now, you can then use your Close Combat or your Aqua Jet to be able to take out the opponent. Now, if you get to a even at +4, with Aqua Jet, you are going to be destroying a lot of different mons. Especially as a late game sweeper, this can work really, really nicely for you. So I've gone for max speed, max attack with a Jolly Nature, so more speed, less special attack. You could always go for a max attack, max HP if you're purely using the Aqua Jet. If you're purely going to use the Aqua Jet, I would definitely recommend going for a Lychee Berry instead of a Salad Berry. So the exact same setup, set up a Swords Dance, Endure, so you can live another hit, and then your Lychee Berry will activate. That will give you a +3. You might even be able to get another Swords Dance in there somewhere, and your Moxie will then allow you to start destroying. If you've got a late game situation where a lot of the mons are already taking some damage, or you've got hazards set up so they're going to take damage as they come in, the Aqua Jet will then cause so many problems for them that actually it will work really well in your favour, because at +4, that's just going to do so much damage. So that's kind of my thought process there. If you give that a go and it works for you, then let me know, because it's a bit more of a quirky set, but I think it definitely would really, really work as a late game sweep situation. And finally, we've got one double set here, and I haven't actually put an item on this, but I'd recommend normally putting a sort of berry on here that's going to reduce down the damage. So, for example, like a Potato Berry that's going to reduce down the amount of psychic damage you take. I think that's the right one. Or it's Cobra, I think, is the one for flying types. I can't remember all of them, if I'm going to be completely honest. But just reducing down the amount of damage you're going to take from a super effective move can be really helpful. You could have things like Focus Sash here as well. You could have lots and lots and lots of different options, personally. So you've got Helping Hand. This will allow you to be able to increase the power of your ally's move, which obviously if you've got something really powerful, that's going to work really well. You've got Protect as a standard doubles move, because realistically protecting is going to help you a lot. And then we've got Aqua Cutter. Now Aqua Cutter has a high critical hit ratio. It's a powerful water type move, so you can definitely use that, or you could use Liquidation, or you could use Wave Crash. It's up to you. And then Brick Break. Realistically in doubles, it's more often that you do see screens, so Brick Break to be able to get rid of those screens can definitely be really helpful. But you have got other options, like I've said in the double section. You have got Taunt. You have also got Icy Wind, which will lower down the speed of your opponent's Pokemon. Now, speed control is really, really important in doubles, so definitely recommend using that if you haven't got any speed control. EVs again, max attack, max speed. Could go max HP in this scenario if you wanted to instead of max attack. It's entirely up to you, depending on how you want to run this personally. But yeah, that's my idea for doubles. It's probably not the best double set. There probably are some better ones that you could come up with. In fact, using the Icy Wind to your advantage, and also Taunt would work really nicely, especially with it being reasonably fast to stop Pokemon from trying to set up or trying to, for example, use Follow Me. But yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like the new format. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'm going to finish this off, so hit the good one, and I'll see you soon.